You sit down to work on that important project. 5 minutes later, you're checking your phone. 10 minutes after that, you're thinking about what you'll eat for lunch. 20 minutes in, you've accomplished nothing except proving you have the attention span of a goldfish on caffeine. Sound familiar? You're not weak, you're not broken, you're just untrained. Your mind is like a muscle that's never been to the gym, flabby and useless when you need it most. While you struggle to focus for 30 minutes, ancient samurai warriors could maintain laser-sharp concentration for hours, even days, without wavering. They weren't superhuman. They mastered something you've never heard of. Joriki, the power of concentrated mind that turns scattered thoughts into unstoppable mental force. In feudal Japan, there lived a young warrior named Hiroaki who possessed exceptional sword skills but couldn't win a single duel. His teacher, Master Yamamoto, watched him lose again and again, not from lack of technique, but from a wandering mind. During combat, Hiroaki thought about his last mistake, worried about his next move, feared his opponent's reputation. His mind scattered in 10 directions while his enemy's mind stayed perfectly present. After another humiliating defeat, Hiroaki approached his master in frustration. "Sensei, I train harder than anyone. I practice every technique until my hands bleed. Why do I keep losing?" Master Yamamoto handed him a thin piece of paper and a magnifying glass. "Can you burn this paper?" he asked. Hiroaki held the magnifying glass over the paper, moving it back and forth, tilting it at different angles. The sun's rays touched the paper, but nothing happened. The master took the glass and held it perfectly still at the exact right distance. Within seconds, smoke rose from the paper. Moments later, flame appeared. "You see," the master said, "the sun's power is always there, but scattered light has no force. Concentrated light burns through anything. Your mind is the same. Scattered attention is worthless. Focused attention is unstoppable." That day, Hiroaki began learning Joriki, and within a year, he went undefeated in combat. Joriki literally translates to stable strength or concentrated power. Jo means stable or calm. Riki means power or force. Together, they describe a dynamic energy that arises when the mind achieves one-pointedness through meditation. This isn't ordinary concentration where you grit your teeth and force yourself to pay attention. That approach exhausts you within minutes. Joriki is concentration that energizes rather than drains, that grows stronger the longer you maintain it, that enables you to act with perfect timing without conscious thought. Think about how magnifying glass focuses sunlight. The sun's energy is always present, but diffused across a wide area with minimal effect. The glass simply gathers that dispersed energy into a single point, and that concentrated beam can start fires and melt metal. Your mental energy works the same way. Right now, your attention scatters across 1,000 distractions, notifications, worries, plans, memories. Each one steals a fragment of your mental power. By the time you try to focus on what matters, barely 10% of your energy remains available. Joriki training reverses this. It teaches your mind to gather all scattered energy into a single focused beam that burns through any challenge. Most men confuse concentration with Joriki, but they're completely different. Concentration is surface-level focus maintained through willpower and effort. You force yourself to ignore distractions, fighting against your mind's natural tendency to wander. This creates internal resistance that exhausts you. After an hour of forced concentration, you're mentally drained and need a break. Joriki operates at a deeper level. Rather than fighting against wandering thoughts, you train the mind to naturally rest in single-pointed awareness without effort or strain. The difference is like swimming against a river current versus flowing with it. One exhausts you quickly. The other feels effortless even after hours. Samurai warriors needed Joriki because battlefield survival demanded instant action without hesitation. In combat, there's no time to think through your response, weigh options, or overcome fear. The warrior who pauses to consider is already dead. Joriki enabled samurai to bypass conscious thought entirely. Their trained minds perceived threats and executed perfect responses faster than conscious awareness could process. This wasn't supernatural ability. It was the natural result of a unified mind operating without internal fragmentation. Here's what separates Joriki from everything else you've tried. Modern productivity advice tells you to eliminate distractions, use time blocking, try the Pomodoro technique, drink more coffee. All surface-level bandages that don't address the root problem. Your mind itself is undisciplined and untrained. No external system can fix an internally chaotic mind. Joriki training rebuilds your mind from the foundation. Through specific meditation practices, you develop the capacity for sustained one-pointed focus that doesn't degrade over time. Once developed, this power transfers to every area of life. Work becomes easier because you can focus deeply without distraction. Conversations become richer because you're fully present instead of half listening. Physical training improves because mind and body unify. Decision-making becomes clearer because mental noise disappears. Even stressful situations become manageable because your concentrated mind stays calm and sees solutions others miss. The foundation of Joriki training is Zazen, seated meditation practiced by Zen monks and samurai for centuries. But this isn't the relaxation meditation you've seen in wellness apps. Zazen for Joriki development is intense, demanding, and completely unglamorous. You sit in specific posture with spine straight, eyes half open, and focus entirely on counting breaths. Nothing mystical. Just you, your breath, and the ruthless task of keeping attention on counting without wavering. Here's the brutal truth. You probably can't count 10 breaths without your mind wandering. Try it right now. Count each inhale and exhale. By breath 3 or 4, you're thinking about something else, and you didn't even notice when you stopped counting. That's how weak your concentration is. That's why you struggle to focus on anything important. Your attention has zero discipline, zero stamina, zero strength. Joriki training fixes this through systematic practice. You start by attempting to count breaths to 10 without losing focus. When you notice your mind has wandered, and it will constantly, you immediately return to counting and start again at 1. No judgment, no frustration, just immediate return to practice. This seems simple, even boring. Most people quit after 3 sessions because nothing dramatic happens. They expect instant results, mystical experiences, some sign they're making progress. They get none of these. What they don't realize is every time you notice your mind has wandered and bring it back to counting, you're performing a mental repetition that builds Joriki. Each return strengthens your ability to direct attention where you choose. After 100 returns, you're slightly stronger. After 1,000 returns, dramatically stronger. After 10,000 returns, your concentration becomes unshakable. Think about weightlifting. Your first time in gym, you struggle to bench press the bar alone. Feels impossible to ever lift real weight. But you keep showing up, keep adding tiny amounts over time. 6 months later, you're pressing weight that would have crushed you at the start. Your muscles adapted through progressive overload. Joriki develops through the same principle. Each session, you stress your concentration just beyond its current capacity. Initially, you can barely focus for 30 seconds before mind wanders. With practice, 30 seconds becomes a minute, then 5 minutes, then 30 minutes. Eventually, you can maintain perfect focus for hours without effort because your mental stamina has grown exponentially. Samurai trained Joriki through brutal conditioning that modern practitioners would consider extreme. Warriors would sit in meditation under freezing waterfalls for hours, maintaining focus despite physical agony. They would meditate overnight in graveyards to confront fear while staying concentrated. They would practice breath control while holding impossible postures until their bodies screamed. Why such intensity? Because battlefield demands don't wait until you feel ready. If your concentration breaks under pressure, you die. Therefore, training had to exceed battlefield stress significantly. If you can maintain focus while sitting under ice water at midnight, focusing during a sword fight becomes easy by comparison. Modern life doesn't require such extremes, but the principle remains. If you train concentration under challenging conditions, normal situations become effortless. Here's your practical Joriki training protocol that builds samurai-level mental stamina without waterfalls or graveyards. Starting tomorrow, you commit to daily Zazen practice with 0 exceptions. Not when you feel like it, not when convenient. Every single day at the same time, regardless of circumstances. Why same time daily? Because consistency creates automaticity. Your mind stops negotiating whether to practice and simply does it. 20 minutes daily at 5 in the morning builds more Joriki than 2 hours once per week. Your specific practice is breath counting using the traditional method. Sit on floor with back straight, either cross-legged or kneeling on cushion. Eyes remain half open, looking down at 45-degree angle. This prevents drowsiness that comes with closed eyes. Hands rest in lap, left hand on top of right, thumbs lightly touching too. Form a circle. This isn't mystical, It's practical. If you get tense, thumbs press together. If you get sleepy, thumbs drift apart. The position provides feedback about your state. Begin counting breaths. Inhale, count 1. Exhale, count 2. Inhale, count 3. Continue to 10, then return to 1 and start again. Your entire focus stays on counting and breathing. Nothing else exists. When you notice thoughts arising, and they will constantly, you don't fight them or push them away. You simply notice the thought, release it, and return immediately to counting at 1. This is critical. You always restart at 1 when mind wanders, not continue where you thought you were. Why restart? Because it creates clear feedback about focus quality. If you restart at 1 20 times in 20 minutes, you have objective evidence of how scattered your attention is currently. There's no lying to yourself, no pretending you're focused when you're not. The counting exposes exactly how weak or strong your concentration is right now. First week of practice will humble you completely. You'll discover you can't maintain focus for even 30 seconds consistently. Thoughts about work interrupt, worries about problems arise, plans for later intrude, physical discomfort demands attention, boredom screams at you to quit. This is exactly what needs to happen. You're confronting the true state of your untrained mind. Most people live their entire lives never seeing how chaotic and undisciplined their minds actually are. They stay busy, distracted, never sitting still long enough to witness the mental circus. You're choosing to see it clearly. That's the first step toward changing it. Week 2 becomes even harder. The novelty wears off. You're not seeing dramatic improvements. The practice feels pointless. Your mind rebels against the discipline. This is when 99% of people quit. They return to comfortable distraction and convince themselves meditation doesn't work for them. You're different. You understand that resistance means progress. The difficulty proves you're stressing your mental capacity, forcing it to grow. You don't quit when physical training gets hard. You definitely don't quit when mental training gets hard. By week 3, something shifts. You notice you can sometimes count to 10 without wandering. You catch your mind drifting earlier than before. You return to focus slightly faster. These tiny improvements are Joriki beginning to develop. The power feels weak right now, barely noticeable, but weak is better than nothing. Keep training. Week 4 through 8, the improvements compound. Sessions where you can maintain focus for 5 minutes straight. Physical stillness that felt impossible at start now comes naturally. The constant mental chatter begins to quiet during practice. You're building the foundation of real concentration power. After 3 months of daily practice, your Joriki is strong enough to notice in daily life. You can focus on work tasks for extended periods without checking phone. You can listen to people completely without mind wandering. You can make decisions without drowning in analysis paralysis. You're becoming someone who can direct attention wherever needed and maintain it there. But Joriki isn't just about focus duration. It's about the quality and power of that focus. A samurai with developed Joriki could perceive attacks before they fully formed, sense danger before it appeared, execute techniques with perfect timing. This seems mystical until you understand the mechanics. When your mind achieves one-pointed focus, it stops wasting energy on internal dialogue, worry, planning, remembering. All that freed energy becomes available for perception and action. Your senses sharpen because you're fully present to receive sensory input instead of lost in thought. Your intuition strengthens because subtle signals aren't drowned out by mental noise. Your reactions quicken because there's no delay between perceiving and acting. You're not thinking then doing. You're doing instantaneously as thinking and action unify. This is why Master Yamamoto could defeat multiple opponents simultaneously while Hiroaki struggled against one. The Master's concentrated mind perceived and responded to everything at once without confusion. His Joriki enabled him to hold multiple threads of awareness simultaneously, each perfectly clear and actionable. Hiroki's scattered mind could barely track one opponent, let alone several. But after a year of Joriki training, Hiroaki developed the same capability. Not through technique training, though he continued that, but through mind training that unified all techniques into spontaneous action. Here's what happens when you build serious Joriki over years of practice. Your meditation sessions extend naturally from 20 minutes to an hour or more without strain. The one-pointed focus you can only achieve briefly at start becomes your baseline state during practice. Even outside meditation, you notice increased ability to concentrate on demand. The scattered, chaotic mental state that used to be normal now feels foreign and uncomfortable. You've literally rewired your brain's default mode from distraction to focus. Modern neuroscience confirms what samurai knew intuitively. Regular meditation practice increases gray matter density in brain regions associated with attention control, emotional regulation, and self-awareness. It strengthens connections between prefrontal cortex and other brain areas, enhancing your ability to direct attention voluntarily rather than letting it get captured by whatever stimulus appears. These aren't temporary changes, they're structural modifications to your brain that persist and compound over time. The samurai called Joriki a power because that's exactly what it is. Power to control yourself when everyone else is controlled by circumstances. Power to act decisively when everyone else hesitates. Power to stay calm when everyone else panics. Power to focus deeply when everyone else drowns in distraction. This power doesn't come from motivation or inspiration. It comes from systematic training that builds mental stamina exactly like physical training builds physical stamina. You stress the capacity, allow recovery, stress it again slightly harder. Over months and years, the capacity grows until what once seemed impossible becomes trivially easy. Starting tomorrow morning, you make a choice. Continue living with scattered, weak attention that guarantees mediocre results. Or begin building Joriki through daily practice that compounds into unstoppable mental force. The choice determines everything. Average men choose comfort and remain average. Exceptional men choose discipline and become exceptional. 20 minutes daily. Same time. 0 exceptions. In 1 year, your concentration will be stronger than 99% of people. In 3 years, unshakable. In 5 years, you'll possess mental stamina others can't comprehend. Hiroaki went from losing every duel to going undefeated not because he learned new sword techniques, because he learned to focus the mental power he already possessed. You have the same power right now. It's just scattered and weak from lack of training. Build Joriki and everything changes, or don't and nothing changes. Your life, your choice, starting tomorrow at dawn.